everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel, and with me are quite a few other people, and so we're glad to see them all here, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves in just a bit. But as you might have noticed from the name of this, it's called the Final Daily Chat, and that's because, with all honesty, I first started these. I said, you know what, we were in lockdown, and I said, I'm just going to do these until lockdown's over. And after a few weeks, I said, okay, it's not going to end in a couple weeks. So when the other guys and the folks in the Dice Tower started offering to do them, I said, I'll gladly do that. But I said, we'll do it till the end of quarantine. Well, I'm a firm believer in ending things before they fade out. So that's basically what we're doing. To that end, that's what tonight is. So I know some people are like, oh, but I know a lot of you came and you chatted and had a good time and hung out together with other people during the daily chats. And so I appreciate that. We will be running live games at 9 p.m. It just won't be every night. It might be once a week, twice a week, three times a week. Think about that. So you'll still be able to come on board and see things at 9, but you're just gonna have to watch the schedule to see when they go up. We're gonna take questions from you all because we have nothing really to talk about here, but I will introduce these wonderful folks around me, starting with the person who's streaming this right now, Roy Candidate.
Hey, I'm Roy. I do all the editing here at
Roy,
the Dice Tower. And
I had my sound off.
Oh, I'm Roy. I do all the editing here at the Dice Tower. I run our live streams and stuff like that, and it's been awesome doing all these daily chats and talking to so many amazing people in the chat and so many amazing designers and stuff from all around the world. So super excited to be here.
Roy's also a designer. All right, Mark.
Hey folks, Mark here. I do all the Dice Tower previews. So I do not all of them, but I do a lot of them. And we have a bunch of people started to jump in and help with those. I'm pretty excited. We have Ella and we have the Kirby's, so I'm pretty excited to have them on board to do that and help out. And then we do a bunch of recap stuff in crowd surfing, which I love to walk around the Colorado and show everything and talk about games.
All right, Crystal.
Hello, everyone. I am Crystal. I am one of the co-hosts of Dice Tower Tonight, which is definitely still happening every 2 weeks on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you miss the daily chat fix that you've been getting, you're still going to get Dice Tower Tonight from Eric and I on Wednesday evenings every other week. And I do occasional other content on the Dice Tower as well, some live playthroughs, pop in on top 10s and other things like that as well. So, hello, everyone.
And we got Kat.
Hello, everyone. I'm Glory Hound, and I do the segment on Board Game Breakfast for Kickstarters. So, and I sneak in some other content in there, too. Maybe not all Kickstarter related, but it's fun.
You also have your own channel.
I sure do. I have my own channel where we do playthroughs of Kickstarters, and our Kickstarter show.
And Graham.
Hello everyone, this is Graham. I'm one of the video reviewers. I do board game reviews on the Dice Tower channel. I also have a podcast that I'm on.
And Graham is the person who we occasionally, and in fact it's happening very soon, I'm like, hey, let's make a box for Graham and send him some games to review. And it's always the top, hottest, best games.
I open that box and think, what on earth did Tom send me this time?
That's true. All right, Gil.
I'm Gil. I used to do videos for breakfast, for Board Game Breakfast, and we moved. So hopefully I'll be back and doing videos again. Our podcast took a hiatus, so starting this month, things are moving again. I finally got settled down, so that's me. And Roy is a designer.
And Mike.
This is me unmuting myself. Hi, I'm Mike. I do some video editing work on the Dice Tower, and I also do some reviews, mostly solo type reviews. And I also lose to Roy and Jason and Tom in board games on a regular basis. So that's my role.
All right, Stella.
Hello, I am Stella. From Maple University on YouTube, but also on the Dice Tower. We do how to play the playthrough and also pocket playthrough and live playthrough and also board game breakfast. And Roy is the designer. Thank you.
And Sharon.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Madden. I'm director of Dice Tower East. Welcome.
And the most famous people here. Our family plays games.
Yeah.
Get it.
I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are
Our fan plays games. Booyah!
And we do reviews on the Dice Tower, and of course, we have our own channel.
And we just board gamers, y'all. Just board gamers.
All right, Jason.
I just want to give Mick and Starla a fist bump right now because that is awesome.
Boom! There you go.
Boom. Jason Levine, the gaming machine here. I do a little bit of everything. I run the cruise. I show up at Dice Tower headquarters all the time. I noticed that Eric finally showed up in the chat. I helped playtest Roy's Last Light. I also want to get everyone the hashtag right now.
No. Okay. Next is Bonacore.
Every game is awesome. Come back with me and Tom doing reviews together. Hashtag
Jason, just like on the happy hour, shut up.
No, Steven.
All right.
I was going to keep
Steven.
And wait. I want to shout out to Kabuki Kid, our #1 fan who's been in every single chat. And let's toss it to someone who just retired.
That's right. I forgot. I can do this. Okay. Bonacore.
Hi, I'm Stephen Bonacore, the retired president of Stronghold Games. True. Retired. The podfather of gaming. True. It is. And arch nemesis of gaming to Tom Vasel. Absolutely true.
All right. You're too predictable. All right. And Jeff.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jeff Engelstein. I do the Game Tech segment on the Dice Tower audio podcast and formerly did Ludology podcast and pop in on that somewhat. I'm also the father of the new director of game design at Stronghold Games, trying to fill some shoes over there.
Engelstein's throwing out Bonacores all over the planet.
I'll also mention that Ray is a designer, and I've got 2 new games coming out. Versailles 1919 coming out in August, and Super Scope Pinball coming out in September or October. So
that's right. I've been hearing a lot of good things about that pinball game.
I'm excited about it. Aren't you, Stephen?
Very excited about that you didn't give it to me. Thank you.
All right, Tim.
Hi.
No, that's because Roy disappeared. Roy?
Lost. Yeah.
I'm back.
Did Ecamm crash? You're
Yeah,
muted.
Roy, you're muted, Roy. You're muted, Roy.
We're back.
Okay.
I have to get everything situated, but Tim, if you could start over again with your whole spiel, that would be awesome.
I didn't pull the plug.
Tim.
Who, me?
Oh, Tim.
Oh, yes, me. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to do it again?
Yep.
Hi.
Yes.
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Tim Mativier. I'm from Las Vegas. I own Meepleville Board Game Cafe there in Las Vegas. And I also run Dice Tower West Board Game Convention with Dave Millette, who is not here. Him and I run it together. So that's what I do here in Vegas.
And then Eric. Did you get your mic fixed?
Is it going to work this time?
Yay!
I tried using these cheap headphones that I got on an airplane flight.
Oh, they're the worst.
and apparently my computer was trying to use those as a microphone. I'm coming to you from vacation in an unair-conditioned house, which is why I look so flushed.
Yeah,
but it's great to see everybody. Oh, and Roy's a designer. At least that's what I heard.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to take questions from you all, just random questions. But I would like to kind of throw out a couple general questions.
No. Internet.
So far. I know that obviously I know everything about conventions and all that stuff, but the games that have been released so far, we've seen a few fewer games at this point, but there's still quite a few games. What is everyone's general thoughts on the year?
I think it's been a really strong year. We've talked a little bit about this. I think that this has been a year that, while the volume of releases maybe has not been what we're maybe used to this time of the year, I'm already thinking I'm going to have a hard time coming up with a top 10 list for this year. It's been a really solid year.
I agree with Mike. I think that the quality of games, there's so many good games and not a lot of bad games, and only a couple of good games. A lot of them are really, really good.
There are a couple of my favorite games came out this year. It's kind of surprised you. You never expect that all of a sudden there will be a game out there. It's become your favorite again. You think you get that top 20 settled down, and you just get surprised every time. It's pretty amazing for a year. We felt so much happening.
I'm always excited about seeing game designers pushing boundaries and what they can do with different aspects of worker placement, and then bringing it up to the next level, making 3D boards and stuff like that people are doing, and then all of the IPs that are coming into play. I'm so excited about all these IPs. I love seeing Scooby-Doo out there and Harry Potter in my games. That's something that's available to us now that wasn't there before in the same way. So that's exciting.
Yeah, on that note, we just reorganized the Dice Tower library, and we now have a whole shelf that is essentially IP games. I'm calling it basically the Prospero Hall shelf, sort of. It's not all their stuff, but that's the kind of stuff that's there. And there's a lot that are good enough to put in the library.
Well, and it brings new gamers into the market very quickly. And I'm like, yes, convert them all.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Titanic game is good. And I'm hoping that there's a scenario in Titanic where both of them could stay on the board and both survive.
I actually played it yesterday, live playthrough. It's really...
Or if it's just the internet. Homestead internet, it's great. But we're back now.
Let's blame the internet.
Homestead internet is great. Could we quote that?
All right. Well, so slightly similar to that, what about the Kickstarter side of things? Because when this first started, I really thought that Kickstarter would be barely, that it would be heavily affected by everything that went on. And it looked like for a week there was less money being made on Kickstarter. But then we just saw Kickstarter after Kickstarter after Kickstarter. It seemed like that one's still going well.
Yeah, it kind of feels like publishers are taking advantage of the fact that Kickstarter does provide money up front and a product later, which in the midst of a pandemic is potentially even more beneficial than it usually would be. So I imagine they all kind of looked at their schedules and went, okay, well, let's make sure the release schedule is something we can do, but keep the campaign running.
There's been a number of really, really strong Kickstarters this first half of the year, and the really good games that are being put out are doing even better. Gamers on average, I think, have more disposable income if they have stayed employed and or they've received their checks from the government. I think that they're spending them well, and you can see that has shown really well on how well some of these Kickstarters have done.
William Walker wants to know, what is a Kickstarter that everyone is most excited for?
We have to tell the truth here, because I want to say Terraforming Mars 3D, but I don't want Bonacore to start smiling.
Stop, will you?
No, really, I really got the 3D box. I backed it.
Thank you, Jason.
No, you did not back it. You don't even have a Kickstarter account.
Kenny backed it and put me on Backer Kit as the second backer on his account. But I am buying it.
It'll sit on his shelf forever.
I'm excited for Return to Dark Tower.
I was about to say the same thing.
Same.
Sure.
Exactly, 100%. That's the game I wanted so bad as a kid, but never got it. So I'm definitely all in.
I'm just really excited to see the technology in action.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm excited for Sleeping Gods, the new Ryan Lockett. I'm excited for Tidal Blades, which should be sometime soon. And I'm also excited for Dwellings of Eldervale. Those are three I'm very much looking forward to.
Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yeah,
I want to see the Marvel game from Command, because I didn't get the Walmart package.
There's still some sore feelings over that one, isn't there?
I'm kind of excited. Some remakes like Kemet and what was the other one that came out? There's a couple games, but Kemet and Kanban that are coming out. There are games that are reprints that I'm very excited about.
And you said Kickstarter? Pray tell, what is that? Right, Starla, what is that? Like my baby. What is that? I don't know.
I'll show you at some point.
Yeah, thank you.
It's where you can spend a little bit of money
Just
and
tiny
get
bit.
games.
Tiny bit of money. Yeah,
And in fact, the publishers go out of their way to encourage you to put your bid as low as possible.
And I may have done that a few times, just may have. Just may.
I'm excited. I'm excited about Etherfields and Vampire the Masquerade chapters and Ankh. Like, I am so ready for all those. I need more of that in my life.
I want to get in on the Nemesis. I missed the first one, so the Nemesis. I want to get
that's a good one.
The second one on that one.
And Frosthaven.
That's true.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm asking these questions. That one, this is a super chat question, so it is what it is. Okay, from Tommy Miller, who paid $30 to ask what everyone's favorite musical was.
Les Miserables, Les Miserables, Les Miserables, 100 million times over. It is so
Les
good.
Miserables is the greatest musical ever made. Will never be better than that.
And Steven
Les
agrees
Miserables.
with me. I can't believe
Absolutely.
it.
I hate to agree with Jason, but it is.
Favorite musical?
What's yours?
Dreamgirls.
Mine's The Wiz. Mine's The Wiz.
Dreamgirls.
I do like The Wiz.
I don't know, Mr. Bonacore, I like Les Mis, but recently I showed it to my kids and I realized that there's really only like 4 or 5 pieces of music in there, and they mix it up a bit. It's
awesome.
It's gotta be Hamilton. I'm sorry. I gotta jump in and vouch for Hamilton.
Hamilton's definitely up there.
I might say Greatest Showman.
Hamilton's good. Les Mis is the greatest.
I'm a little sappy for Christmas. I love the Miracle at 34th Street.
Yeah, you in a musical? What musical were you in?
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, but you in a musical though.
That's not my favorite. My favorite is still Dreamgirls.
Yeah, that's true. You're in a musical. Yeah.
I really love Into the Woods. That's been
Oh,
my
yeah,
fave,
that's
so,
right.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, actually.
That's a good one.
Yeah. As far as movies go, Anna and the Apocalypse is just a ton of fun.
That's a weird one, but yes.
It is.
I do like it.
I mean, if
It's
we
a
want to
ton of
talk
fun.
weird, you could bring up the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, there's that.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
That's a good one.
That's a classic.
I like all Disney, I guess. All Disney musicals. Aladdin. What has it been out there? Aladdin, Lion King. I think that's it.
Lion
actually.
King's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we jump back into gaming here a little bit. So, Steve Thomas asks, will conventions get to near normal by spring 2021? And we really don't know the answer to that. That's just futuristic. But what does everyone feel? How's everyone's thoughts on? Don't feel afraid to talk about stuff candidly if you don't want to. But like, what are your feelings on the current state of online conventions?
Virtual Gaming Con.
We just did Virtual Gaming Con with Board Game Geek, and working with them was wonderful. And I thought that the con went off really, really well. I wasn't really sure. It in some aspects it felt like running a con, but then again it didn't, because I was doing it right from here. But it went really well. The feedback was positive. Everybody loved it. It certainly isn't the same as being at a real con, but given the state of things, it's about the next best thing that we could do for the fans. And I was just really glad that we could have a part in it. It was a lot of fun.
I think it's a great first step on integrating the internet more in conventions in general, because I would love for next year for us to have conventions as well as a tandem virtual gaming convention for the people who can't make it there, and just getting more of that out there. You know, there's lots of panels that can be streamed. There's lots of stuff that can be done. So I'm glad that lots of people who maybe wouldn't have thought of it before got their little foot in the door, and it's going to open up into like a whole new convention that'll be available for everybody.
I think the online conventions are great, but I don't have any statistic for that, but I have a feeling that a lot of people that goes in conventions, they ended up not playing that much game. It's fully networking and meeting friends. And I think, although it does help, I think it still doesn't fill that void as much as I would like to. I think there's still something missing there. Although it's still fun, I think there's a lot that has to be improved yet. But I think it was a great year to experience with it, and maybe it will be better later on to see more online stuff. I just think right now it was fine, on my opinion.
I think it definitely doesn't replace the face-to-face interaction at all with other people. But I think it's an amazing opportunity to still get to play games with other people and meet other people. And if you're publishing or designing a game, it's a great way to be able to demo your game for other people as well. And I know even with Tom, like, he started this whole werewolf thing that he started doing like crazy because of online conventions and being able to play those remotely with other people.
Yep.
To get back to Steve's question, though, what do we believe will be the state of conventions in 2021, spring of 2021? I've been the eternal optimist throughout this entire thing, and wrong throughout this entire thing. But I believe that next year's convention season, I'm hopeful that it's going to be close to normal.
You look so hopeful.
I know. I mean, I can't. No, but I mean, I can't tell you how much I want it to be, and I just think that think optimistically. I mean, like
we all do.
We all want it to be, and I'm just trying, and I'm going to use my mental energy to make it if I can to be that way. I just want it to be. I want to go to all of the online conventions, the in-person conventions again. The online ones, while they're great, I had a great time at VGC. It's not the same thing, of course.
We all want that, Stephen. I mean, every week, trust me, instead of being here on this virtual chat with everyone, I would rather be seeing all of you guys in person. I'm lucky enough that I do get to see Mike and Tom in person once or twice.
Never happens.
Or it never happens. But I wish I can see everyone here in person more often. Like, I would rather see everyone in person. And I know I am on the phone with Royal Caribbean every single week trying to figure out, are we going to have a cruise? And that's in February of next year, which is still 6 months away. And I'm like, are we going to have a cruise? Are we not going to have a cruise? They already made me cut rooms. And it's such a tricky, delicate situation here because we have to care about the safety of all the fans and all the convention goers. And that's super important.
But I want to look at it from a positive end of things. I'm very happy. I just saw Catan sales were up 150%. We know that there's a lot of people playing online, and that's growing. It's not nearly as good as it should be, but with necessity, technology moves forward. So I look forward to that. And I don't necessarily want to dwell too much on the negative thing. We all know that's going on. So we got a question here. I'm not sure I understand everything here. It says the best daily chat I heard was Tom's victory over the Dice Tower West wheels. I don't actually understand that at all. But does anyone have a real fun story they'd like to share from a con that you remember, since we aren't going to any now, that something that you really enjoyed?
Putting pies in your face, always huge for me. Huge. Twice.
Tom, I imagine the story they were referring to was the wheels on the library carts that you all.
Oh, that's a horrible story, though. We were just talking about that the other day. Like, we're so glad that that's over. We have these big, heavy-duty wheels on the carts now.
There's no strength now, and they work, and it's amazing, and they're never going to break again.
Shut up, Jason! I need that.
Roy and I replaced a couple of wheels just on Friday, and it was like being drawn back into it again. It was very, very disturbing.
I know. It's like,
I
my
keep trying
goodness.
to forget about it.
So traumatizing.
It really was.
Can we talk about worst convention experiences? It's the
No,
fact that I saw that big forklift to the wheel and almost broke our library.
All right, well, now that we know what they're talking about, let's go back to what I was originally asking. Does anyone here have a good story to share?
I have a good story. The first time I met Tom, I volunteered to work at the booth at Origins. And Tom was very welcoming. He says, come, work the booth for me. I was just volunteering at the time. And it seems that every hour he'd come and pat me on the shoulder and say, are you okay to do another hour? Are you okay to do another hour? I spent the entire Origins at the booth, but I was very happy to do it because I had nothing else to do. So it was a great...
There's no good out for me in this one, but all right.
I played an amazing game of Mansions of Madness with Crystal and a couple other guys, and it was just one of those moments that felt so thematic and exciting because we were right at the very edge of the game. They'd never played it before. Me and Crystal had played it several times, and the guy ended up going, and one of the guys ended up going insane right at the very end. It ended up turning against everybody else, and it just made it very dramatic and entertaining. And I just love how you can show games that you love to other people, and you can create those experiences with them. It's always a lot of fun to share the love of board gaming through games that you love yourself.
I've gotten to play some prototypes at conventions that have been really delightful, like Roy's game, Last Light, which I have now played. I have played Last Light more times than I've played Twilight Imperium. And that's saying something because Roy is a designer.
And they all would have fit in the same time as one game. I'm just kidding.
I
The
went
first-
to Origins in 1978. It was the second or third Origins. It was the first game convention that I went to, and I was 14 years old, and I convinced my parents to just let me go with my friends on the train. Stayed in college dorm rooms down there. It was held on a college campus that year, and that was what introduced me to the wider world of gaming, and just that that there were other people that were doing this stuff and playing these games. And I remember we started a game of this fan-made global diplomacy variant that started at like 11 p.m. and it went until 11 a.m. the next morning. And we stayed up and played it all night, which I could not do, but I could certainly do when I was 14. So
Nice.
that was a big thing that really inspired me.
My first convention was Origins 2019. It wasn't actually that long ago. And I remember when we come from Australia with no physical convention. I'm actually saving money. So the first one, Taryn actually got left behind because he forgot to apply for visa waiver from Australia to America. So I went there on my own, and he tried to apply quickly and then got there 24 hours later. So that was interesting.
All of my best convention experiences aren't games, and I know that sounds weird and sentimental, but mine are really just spending time with all of you guys, and like when we do our Kickstarter dinners and we get to meet people, and I know this was the last convention we did, and this is kind of sappy and sentimental, but I had just gotten a promotion at my job at Univision, and me and Tom went out for a dinner one night at Dice Tower West, and we went, just the two of us, to a really nice restaurant in one of the Las Vegas hotels, and just the two of us had a nice, super nice dinner, and just spending time with the people you care about is the most important thing that I take from conventions.
Oh, I would agree, Jason. And one of my funny stories is I was actually with Steven up in Niagara Falls in 2019. Went to this famous chicken wing place, and he gets like whatever, like the highest grade
Duff's Death Wings.
The death wing, and you have to put gloves on to eat them. So he ate them, and then it was Frank DiLorenzo bet him $20 that he could just dip a piece of celery in his sauce. And what happened, right? And
I said to Frank, if you will just dip your French fry into the death wing sauce and eat it, I'll give you $20. I'll give you $20 if you just dip it in and eat the sauce. And he did, and he was like reeling in pain from the little bit of sauce he had. And I ate 10 death wings. I do this every year, once, twice, 3 times. Yeah, it's crazy. Tom has seen me do it.
I have. I really think you're kind of a wimp. But also I'm surprised that you're still at that age. In the sense that I stopped doing this super hot stuff like a decade ago because I realized there's nothing to prove. Who cares?
Wait, time out. Didn't we do a Hot Plus challenge right at the last Kickstarter?
Yeah, but I didn't participate. I just got you to do it. I wasn't dumb.
I actually like
that. Hurt me hardcore.
Well.
By the way, the next day I was texting everybody like, "I'm dying."
So sad.
You did really well when you did when we went to I think it was a Gen Con that you went no water. Roy went no water. Aldi, and we all brought hot sauces. We had this lineup, and he just kept going.
And the water does not help. It just spreads out the hot in your mouth anyway.
Tapped out.
So.
I think we need to have a challenge, Bonacore. Let's do this.
No, it's anybody would like to just watch me or Roy eat some really Tom, you've done it too, I think, right? You want to just hang out and watch it because it's usually really funny, and then getting other people to try a little bit is part of the comedy of the whole thing. So it's not about like just the challenge of it for myself. It's about the comedy of getting everybody else to just try a little bit and then just like freaking the F out of it. It's crazy.
Do you remember my tears when we did the Death Wings and I was crying?
You were crying.
All right, Gator Dave says the chat wants to thank us and everybody for adding a bit of joy during these times. We appreciate that, but we also appreciate all of you. Some of you have come to every chat, which I'm very impressed by, and also at the same time a little nervous about.
Kabuki Kid.
Kabuki Kid from New Jersey.
It's not just Kabuki Kid. There's at least 20, 30 people in chat whose names I know quite well at this point.
Gator Dave.
Gator Dave. Yep.
Someone asked, over the past month or so, there's been a lot of game announcements. Any of those get anyone excited?
Star Wars Unlocked. Star Wars Unlocked.
Star Wars Unlocked. Yes. Yeah.
So I got a phone call the other day where someone said, listen, I know you want to play Unlocked games with your family, but if you get the Star Wars Unlocked one, you have to play it with me. And are you doing that right now? And I was like, no, I'm trying to go to bed.
Time out. It's because
But apparently we had a date at Dice Tower West. And so therefore.
Wait, let me explain. It's because Tom said, I got the new Unlock. Maybe we'll play it at the next gaming thing. And I thought it was the Star Wars Unlock that he got, and it was only the Epic one, so I wasn't as excited anymore. But I thought it was Star Wars. I'm like, we didn't get to play it, but don't play it with your family. Save it for me. Because it's Star Wars and it's Unlocked all combined. It's awesome.
I want to see the new Quacks expansion. I love Quacks and want more Quacks. And
yeah, Quacks expansion. Yeah.
I think Pandemic,
New
Legacy,
Descent.
Zero.
Probably.
Oh, that's true.
Game I
But
most played is
yeah, Descent, they're very coy about that, which I don't like.
I don't, all I know is we saw a gigantic box and I'm excited about it.
Santorini, New York.
That's right.
Yeah.
That looks really
New
good.
York, New York, babe.
That's a very
I
odd
love New
title,
York.
though. Santorini, New York just strikes me as odd. But hey, whatever.
Hey, but it's New York. You know.
Jeff, I don't disagree, but Carcassonne has been doing it for years.
That's true.
I think I got excited about the Gale Force 9 is going to do a new print of with some modification for Spartacus, which is a game that I like a lot, so that got me excited.
All right, I see lots of people are mentioning stuff in the chat about that. There's a couple of the things you're mentioning that I'm going to have to tell you later on to not get so excited about, since me and Mike played one of them yesterday. But
That's the one I played also that we didn't like, or is it a different one?
oh, it's yes. Anyhow, you can't keep a secret, so I'm not.
I'm not
mentioning
going to
anything.
say what it is.
All righty, folks. Where's my questions here? People are getting caught up in the questions that we are talking about. Well, here's time. Quick self promotion. Anyone have anything coming up on their channels or something you want to talk about? You're doing soon.
I do. I actually haven't formally announced it yet, so I guess this will be my formal announcement. I'm going to do a weekend of live streaming August 22nd and 23rd to raise money for Extra Life. Extra Life is an organization that pairs with video gamers and tabletop gamers to raise money for people in need, and they are doing Tabletop Appreciation Weekend August 22nd and 23rd. So I'm going to be streaming most of the weekend on the Board Game Blitz Twitch channel. There are going to be a lot of fun things and some friends helping me out. I don't have all of the details to announce here, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to raise money for a good cause.
That's awesome.
Jumping off of what Crystal was talking about, we have a show still in this time slot every other Wednesday for Dice Tower Tonight. If those of you in the chat want to hang out with us every couple weeks, we have fun. Kind of
We
silly.
have a lot of fun. It is just delightful.
Crystal already said that when you came in late, just so you know.
Well, it's okay. The chat doesn't mind.
Eric's on vacation, Jason. Come on now.
It's all good.
Anyone else got anything they want to promote? Oh, Tim. Tim, you're muted.
You're muted, Tim.
Tim, you're still muted.
Still.
Here I am.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
On the Meepleville channel, I do a interview series called Meepleville Meets, and I actually interviewed Tom. That'll be coming up. But coming up this next week, tomorrow, Reiner Knizia will be coming up at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be posting it. And on Thursday will be Elizabeth Hargrave. So please check out the Meepleville Meets interview series.
Awesome.
I also have some promotion. I just want to say that I got the playtest last night, and Roy's game is amazing. It's really
Oh,
awesome.
my word. Anybody else?
I mentioned my games, but I also wanted to make an official announcement that I've got a new book that's coming out in February, actually, called Game Craft, which is about prototyping games and production, graphic design, how to lay out your rules. So more about like the physical and prototyping aspects of game development. So that's going to be coming out in February or March.
Nice.
Kickstarter playthroughs on Thursdays and Sundays. We've been playing games all throughout COVID. So, I mean, we started up right around when COVID started, and we've been just trying to keep people together and entertained through all of this, and I'm excited to be playing some games in front of everybody.
What time do you do those, Kat?
Usually, let's see here. So Mountain Time on Thursdays at 6 and Mountain Time on Sundays at 2. So if you can't get to one, like one's in the middle of the day and one's later in the day. So hopefully you can get to one or the other.
And also on Thursdays and Sundays, I do happy hour. Used to be happy hour at the Stronghold. Now it's happy hour at the Podfather. And basically it's at 4 p.m. on Sundays, Eastern time, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. And we just basically hang out in a nice chat like this. And we laugh, have fun, stay positive, talk about what's on our minds. Currywurst is a very big topic for some reason. Huge topic that happens. Sharon and Jason show up almost every one of them. I invite everybody here and everybody in the chat as well to come by and to find out how to get there. You can like my new page on Facebook, the Podfather of Gaming, and the events are shown right there. And it'll give you the link to show up on Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, actually, it reminds me, Stephen was in my show a few weeks ago. We do usually live playthrough of games on Nipple University on Saturday evening your time, which is our Sunday morning. So different games. And we usually try to have giveaway as well for viewers. And that was fun, Stephen, playing Terraforming Mars Digital. That was my introduction to, Terraforming Mars Digital. So yeah, if you have nothing to do, want to hang out with us in the chat room, and want to probably win some games, and yes, usually Saturday evening, our channel.
Mr. Dreadful asked the question, what's the best at-home gaming memory from this year?
I only have one. Tim could go first, but I only have one.
Well, I was just going to say actually playing games with my wife, because she usually doesn't play games, but since we've been locked in the house together before she got sick, but when during just the pandemic, to play games with my wife, that was actually kind of nice because I never really got to do that.
Well, for us, every time we put a game on the table, like you say, we have fun. I mean, that's what we all about, just having fun with the family and just doing things. Isn't that right? I think that just having fun,
Family's important. Family's so important.
Mm-hmm.
But
so our family has been scattered around, so we were super excited to actually be able to do an escape room, a virtual escape room, one down in Florida, Mr. Bonacore, your escape room. So we did that with one of the employees there had a GoPro strapped to their head, and we told them what to do. And so it was with my daughter in Indianapolis and my son down in another town in New Jersey, and me and Susan all on the computer, and we were able to get together. And it was just nice to be able to get the four of us together because it's been many months to do that. So it was fun.
Jeff, I want the name of that because this is my new favorite obsession, and I haven't done that one.
Well, since Jeff brought it up, not that I would ever plug myself incessantly, everybody out there, I'm going to give you a code to get a discount. You can go to escaperoomadventures.com, escaperoomadventures.com. There's 3 online games we have now. The online version is only $16 per person. And with this code, which one should I give you? Give you the code FRIENDS, because we're all friends. With the online code FRIENDS, you get 20% more off. So it's great. It's a great date night or family night, or just get friends from all over the internet.
A lot better than we thought it was going to be. We had a good time.
It's really good if you do it in person too. Like me and Tom did it in person a few years ago, and it's good as well. But my one game experience, going back to what I was saying earlier, was I live alone, so I'm basically here by myself. But Roy came over one day and we played War of the Ring Collector's Edition because Roy wanted to see it. So that was the only in-game experience that I've had during this, and I was so happy to get to crack it open again and play with the big, massive, awesome set.
Yeah. And I think for me, Jason's dice rolls are broken, is all I'm saying. Those dice rolls, man, killer.
So as a family, we like to go do escape rooms up here in Toronto, and we have lots of them. But after the lockdown, I got Mystery House, the one kind of looking through the windows. And it's the only type of game my son will play with us, like board game wise. And all 3 of us with our little flashlights looking through the through the little windows, kind of trying to see what we saw. That was for us. It's not nearly as good as going to a physical escape room, but that game was a lot of fun, and with just again playing with family was great.
That's what it's all about, man. Family. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Family's
first.
awesome.
That's what it's all about.
I had an awesome experience playing Clank. Like I think right now it's my all-time best experience playing board game. It was amazing, and I got my wife painting walls for me for my Gloomhaven. So she's not into those things, so she was painting things. And she did play a couple games with us that she hasn't played for a while. So that was, again, that's amazing. Like, you just can have as much fun home if you look for it. Yeah, it is. It's also, we had a lot of exciting moments. It's like we had a lot of ahas while playing games this past 4 or 5 months, which was pretty incredible.
I think my favorite was when I was playing Prototype for the Night Cage, and my daughter played with me. And usually she plays with me once for these prototypes, but after the game, she's like, "Can we play again?" And so we did. And then she's like, "Can we play one more time?" And then after the third game, Shelby was like, "Do we get to keep this prototype?" It was one of my favorite moments at home gaming recently. It was just so fun.
For me, it's probably playing with my niece and nephew. They're in Bali. So we play, they asked to play Burgers Up or like anything like with food related and Midworks and a few things. And then they couldn't log in to Tabletopia. I don't know. I think they're naughty or something. And then their mom, my sister, couldn't let them in. Anyways, we ended up playing Jackbox Party. And then one of the thing I realized that there's a word that they shouldn't actually see. I'm like, oh, shoot. So yeah, I'm going to be careful next time, but that was fun. Yeah, playing with my 12-year-old and my 8-year-old niece and nephew. They kind of like don't know what's going on yet, but I think some of them. But I think they had fun and they want to play again. So that's really. I tried to get them into play board games. So
it's great to do that. I've sent I think I've sent more board games to my niece and nephews during this, and I keep sending games to my sister's house and to someone I know in California. So I keep sending games to them, going, here's stuff to do with your family while you're there. And I think I bought more games for other people than myself during this.
Yep, done a fair amount of that myself. Absolutely.
All right, we got a couple. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I was so excited on a recent board game breakfast. Deanne with Called to Cultivate actually reviewed a game for kids that I played with my cousin's granddaughter when I was visiting in Ohio a year ago. It was called Spot It. And her granddaughter and we just had so many fun plays of that. And so to see it reviewed was really exciting. So it was fun times.
I love it. Spot It.
Yeah.
We got a couple nice comments. Lego Assassin, which sounds like you blow up stuff with Legos. Anyway,
it sounds fun.
They said thanks for the chats, and they hope there's more stuff coming in the future. And John says he uses this time to practice his disc golf putts. And he wants to know what the origin story of the daily chat series was, and will we see nightly chats in the future? So I saw some other people answering that. I'll just as will you see more in the future? We'll see. Gaming will happen occasionally at 9 o'clock. We just don't have it on a firm schedule yet. You'll see it happen on occasion. And as was mentioned twice already, we have our Dice Tower tonight, every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. That will still be going on. And our daily Q&A questions that we used to do in the afternoons, those are back on. We're starting tomorrow. I canceled those because I felt like it was duplicating the daily chat. And as for the origin story, I just said, hey, I should try this out. And that was it. It wasn't really anything more than that. Oh, let's see here. A bunch of people are talking about backgrounds. Okay. When social distancing is over, what's your first game that you'll play with your group? Like, what game are you like itching to play, but you can't because of everything going on? And you're like, as soon as I can, I'm playing such and such a game.
I've been hauling around Imperial, the magic themed train game that it has a giant box, and then things shut down, and I haven't been to the game group since. So
is it called Imperial?
I really want to try. Imperial.
You played it,
Spells
Tom.
and
It's one.
Steam.
Yeah, the anime train game.
Imperial.
Yeah,
The
I
one,
know that.
the Imperial, the big train steam.
Oh, Imperial. Sorry. Okay.
Right.
The one we played.
It's called
Tom.
Imperial, I think.
Yeah, for me, it was the game I bought the day before we had lockdown was Etten from WizKids.
That's right. Same here. We haven't been able to play it either for that same reason.
So we actually up here we've lifted our lockdown. So my gaming group finally got together like 2-3 weeks ago, and that was like the first game. It's like I've had this in shrink for like 4 months now. We're playing in this.
Roy and I tried doing Forgotten Waters over Skype, and while I think it gave us a sense for what the game could be, I'm really looking forward to getting a big group together and playing through that. That was a lot of fun.
Did you all use the online tools, Mike, or were you just
we were
using a webcam?
pre-online tools?
It was pre-online tools. Yeah.
Okay,
it was right after the pre-orders had just come out. So
Gotcha. Because now they have the thing where people can actually choose their actions in the web app.
Yep.
So I haven't played with that yet, but I'm excited to do that. But similarly to you, I'm excited to play it with a group in person eventually as well. It's one of the most spectacular games to hit my collection in a very long time.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about this is a gaming year. I mean, that's one that I think is going to be on a lot of people's best of the year lists.
Oh, for sure.
Well, on this note, so at the end of The Breakfast Club, a great movie, all the kids sit there and they're talking and they say, "Are we still gonna be friends tomorrow?" And they basically, most of them say, probably not. We're friends now, but we're gonna go back to normal. So my question is this: when we can go back to normal, do you think you'll still try to do all this online stuff, or will you say that was fun while it lasted, but now I'm back to normal gaming? Honestly, not what sounds good.
Not even a question for me. Not even a question.
Gaming.
I think it's definitely interesting because I've gotten an opportunity to play with games with people that I never would have been able to play with otherwise by doing it remotely. I mean, I've played games with people in China on the other side of the world. I played a whole bunch of games with people in Australia. It's been awesome to play with games with people who, if I didn't have the opportunity to play on Tabletop Simulator or remotely, I might never get a chance to play a game with. And it's really cool to see the reach that doing stuff over the internet, even though it's definitely way more clunky, that you can have interacting with all these different people.
Literally, Jeff and I are part of a group that has been playing not a board game, but a video game online together that kind of came about because of COVID. And the 4 people are located in Las Vegas, New York, Malaysia, and New Zealand. And just the fact that can happen in today's world is mind-blowing to me. And we've played a bunch of times, and it's always a blast, and it's a different time and day for everybody, and I just love it. And for me personally, I think I will go back to gaming in person kind of as I was before eventually, but I genuinely want to also try and keep playing online to some degree to maintain those connections with the people that I don't get to see in person as often or ever.
That's the exact answer I would give too. We're gonna go back to gaming in person. I think that goes without saying, period. But maintaining the relationships that we have either started, like in your case, Crystal, you're gaming with people in China, you just said, or just I've been doing some online stuff with my old New Jersey friends, not Jeff, I don't like him, but my other New Jersey friends, and it's been great. We been getting to get together, and I have don't see them anymore because I'm in Florida, so it's been great doing that now, and I'm sure that we'll do it once in a while once things get back to normal.
Yeah, my main podcast partner is down in the U.S. and he travels for business, so the only way I game with him has been virtually, and it's been that way for 2-3 years now.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've done stuff on, Tabletop Sim and Tabletopia before, and this has almost been better for me in a way because before it was so hard to get people to get on those things because they were clunky, and now it's I have all these people that are on there, and I'm so excited to be able to play with people all across the world. So I'm just more amped. I have my at-home gaming group, we'll do stuff on Thursdays, but the rest of the week's fair game for any online stuff, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've had a ton of fun with people all over, and the fact that I get to play a lot of the prototypes that I film with people all over the world has been fantastic as well. We did a little bit of that before, but now it's all the time, and it's just working so well. So I can at least get a feel for the game, and friends that I have out in LA and like you said, New York and all over the world. It's just so great to get together and see them and play games. And we even have a friend that get together weekly to do movie nights, even beyond gaming. It's just, I think it could still do that even if things are back to normal.
I think the online game is fine for me. I'll probably play, but not as often, seldom. It's not my favorite things to do. But that was one thing that I discovered during this pandemic is async game, something that I'm probably going to do now always. Like, so there's some platforms where you take your move and then, maybe 3 hours later, another person takes it. So I really love that format. I didn't know it existed until now. And the amount of apps, some incredible apps, I was always kind of hesitant in playing apps, and there's a couple apps out there that are really good. For the first time, we decided to start this group playing Star Realms, and it's an addiction to that thing. So those things, I think, they're great things there. You're not so dependent to get a group together all the time. But I think it's a valid too. I like the in-person way more. It's not for me, at least not at this point yet. Maybe when I get an Oculus Rift and be able to move the pieces with my hand, I'll be more excited about it.
What's crazy is that I did as a kid. I played by mail games, like you're saying. It was insane. We'd send letters off and you'd get the moves back. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it's next level addiction.
Those are good old days.
Yeah.
Play by email, but I think I'm like one of the few here who I don't like online gaming. I've never liked online gaming in general. I'm not a big fan of like doing that because I think the biggest part of gaming is to actually see people and be there with people. And I feel like you miss that. And I've instead decided I'm taking up other hobbies and things. So I've been running a lot. I've been learning how to cook. I've been watching Netflix and other things, but I've been doing other things besides gaming. And the few times when I do get to see Tom and Mike and Roy, I cherish it even more and realize how valuable it is to be with your friends the few times that you can. And I'm looking forward to the time when we could all be together again, because I think that being with people in person can't top anything else.
But definitely not organizing game collections at all.
No, I organized the Dice Tower library the other day. Doesn't that count?
That's good practice.
Go
not doing
sort
mine.
your collection out. All right. Anyhow.
For me, I would agree with everything that was said in many ways, but I mean, I know I'll drop almost all online gaming once I can game with people because I just have to cut stuff out of my life. But I have been stuck home with my family for a really long time now, and we've played more games together, I think, than we've played the rest of our lives at this point. We're playing through legacy games, and I play with them all the time. And I mean, you could argue and say I should have been doing that already, but they're also stuck with me. They're not doing other things too. So it's just that part I'm going to miss because I know that won't stay the same. I know that once everything goes back to normal, they're going to go back to doing activities that kids do that cost money and make you drive places when you don't want to. Don't lie. Every parent thinks that. But I'll miss the playing with the family that much anyway. Oh, good. I'm glad I spoiled the mood there. All right.
That was a positive, Tom. Your family's amazing.
But you gotta keep trying with your family because you gotta keep trying.
But Tom has a family. He can put like 3 games going on at the same time. I don't have that.
Easily.
That is very correct.
Because with us, I do the board game online stuff, because I love some of the apps out there, and I do board game arena because that tabletop simulator and all that stuff. It's too many gyrations. I'm too old for all those gyrations on there. I'm too old. But board game arena is cool, and then some of the apps like Terraforming Mars. Hi, baby, how you doing? But anyway, beautiful things. But when we get off of this stuff, all this crazy stuff, I'm gonna go back out there playing with people because that's fun. That's fun.
We do miss the social aspect of board games. I mean,
and I gotta unleash this on other people, man, because I'm getting beat up. Beat up, y'all. Help me.
Be used by now.
Help me.
All right. Well, we're about to cut off. We have a few minutes left. Any final thoughts from anybody?
I think I'm just going to say I love the idea of tabletop simulator, BGA and all that. But I work in front of computer the whole day, and then at the end of the night, and when I have to go online, and then like I've got like slightly sore here. Sometimes I go to osteo or whatever, but as much as I would like to play more, if I don't have click the mouse, if I can just like say the things to move it, I would be happy. But I get like sore arms after editing, video editing, and doing things on the computer. And at the end of the day, I just like to kind of like move things, physical things around. And who said that? Jason and somebody else said about meeting in person. That I could not replace that. I just love meeting people in person, and that's why I go to overseas conventions to see all of you. And I was so excited when that happened. I can't wait for that to happen again. So that's
we playing, Stella. We playing.
You know, I have to say, like, how privileged you are. There was something that happened to me this week that I was telling my daughter. I said, you complain so much, you have no idea. If you were in a quarantine on my time, we had no computer, no phone. You have all that and you're playing. And she looked at me and said, well, we could say the same to you, that because you stay on your computer playing games all the time. So how do you, comes to that? And I realized, it's for us. It's just beautiful, this community, to be able to do that. Like it's an outlet that not everybody has, and I hope that more people will. And I think a lot of people did discover board game even in online during this quarantine, which is awesome.
And Tom, I hope that you've realized what you can do during this time, right? Because I'm sure you had to like adapt and do more things that you probably wouldn't have been thinking about or wouldn't have been doing pre-pandemic. So I just hope that what you've learned and what you've implemented and what you've put in place and all these kind of things, because there are people out there who love this, right? Who maybe aren't really social, who were just like stuck online anyway, and you're really helping them. So all I hope is that whatever you have developed and you are doing now, you keep going, keep improving, and keep this community online going, and don't kind of push it back when things go to normal, because there's still a lot of people who really need this.
All righty, well, that's a good word to end on. I know that many people here have hosted some of these daily chats, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all of you. It's fun to know that I have friends here all over the world, good friends, and also those of you in chat. And so I know some people probably have more questions, blah, 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 about what's going to happen. Well, I'm doing a Q&A tomorrow, so come ask me there, and I'll probably answer a couple of them. But that's pretty much for us tonight. This is the Daily Chat. I'm not saying they'll never come back. They might. You never know. And, of course, there is Dice Tower Tonight. Have you heard about that? When is the next Dice Tower Tonight? Is it this week or next week?
Next week. All right, sorry,
next
not this coming Wednesday, but a week from Wednesday.
All right. Well, you can find all this stuff scheduled on our YouTube channel, so that's a good way to keep an eye on that. We have other live things coming up this week, so look out for them. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
I'm Sharon Madden.
Mark Street.
Ready?
Bye.
Whole family. This is our family, and we all love you guys. And this is like a giant family here, and we love everyone.